I'm the CEO and co-founder of Midfleet.
Hi, my name is Raju. I am the CTO and also the co-founder of Midfleet.
So we met, 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago in high school.
Yeah, we met actually in Sweden, in Uppsala.
Yeah. We
And
did college together or
we
high
did
school.
college, high school, I don't know what you call it, second secondary high school?
Nothing over there. We studied computer science.
Without the computer.
Without the computer or the science, but
Yeah.
we both worked in the tech field for a very long time. Me, I worked for Google, plus my own startups, building digital healthcare products, but also advised hundreds of startups across Europe as well as Asia Pacific, and done some interesting, cool projects with companies like Tencent, Alibaba, H&M, and all sorts. But, in 2016, I was at the launch event of TensorFlow, which is Google's own machine learning algorithm. And this is kind of where I saw the first promises of what artificial intelligence can actually do.
And this was in
2016, if I remember correctly, end of 2016. And I saw the live Go match between a computer and the best Go player. Go is that Chinese game. It's one of those complex board games. And I could see that the machine was learning the first few games and until it started winning and just dominating that best Go player in the world. And then, from there, I could see, the reasoning capabilities were there. The question is, when is it able to do actual
You
work?
saw the innings of what we are doing today.
Yes. And the writing was on the wall already. But what I knew also is that I wanted to start my own company in tech. And my purpose was that I wanted to help others with technology. So I built a bunch of digital health companies, exited one in 2022. And then I quickly realized while I was working for the company that acquired us that, no, I want to go back and build something else. And we went back to each other. We started traveling together, did back Southeast Asia, and
Before we even starting with Midfleet and all of that, right? So we initially we met in high school.
Yeah.
And then you did some, what do you call this, lumpen, right?
Yeah, I did my military service.
Military services, and I went on to a spiritual journey. So at, I think, 18, 19, we just took different routes.
Yeah.
And I've always, seen Ahmed and what he has been doing, and on LinkedIn, and you were traveling around the world with a motorbike, and you did some crazy stuff there, right?
Yeah, just being a young guy,
Trying to understand the world.
trying to understand the world, try to see where we fit in, try to see like, okay, how can we build stuff, improve humanity. As a young guy, like, gets very, very visionary about things.
It was a philosophical journey, and a journey to just see who you are as well, I guess. And I had a similar journey as well, but it was another take of the same. And it's an interesting journey for both of us. I left when I was 19, and I had my so-called monk life.
It was a monk in India.
Yeah, I was a monk in India, living outside of a bag and just moving around different mosques and temples and stuff like that. I was doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long, long time. Before I decided that, hey, I mean, you need money, man. You need to do something. You can't just walk around like a monk all your life.
You become a dad very early.
I became a dad. I married very early, and then I was like, hey, I'm in this situation. I need money.
Yeah.
And
struck.
I realized that, okay, I need to do something. And I was pretty early with tech and engineering. I was building my own computers. I don't remember when, like 10 years or something. So it was a natural way to go and solve problems. So, and then I started in tech, and I was in it for a long, long, long time. working mostly with infrastructure, cloud, DevOps, DevSecOps, site reliability, you name it. I've done the most of the things in this area. And also being in Australia, being in Atlassian, it gave me a lot of knowledge and experience as well. But then 2022, when we met up again, it was actually when I was in Australia. You were like, "Hey man, what you doing?" And I was like, "I'm in Australia."
Over here, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Okay, but let's come and meet up." So I went to Thailand, met you, and we had a trip and journey where we were just philosophing and talking about anything, right?
Yeah. But then I also like realized the sort of strength of working together.
Hmm.
We're not just sitting and agreeing with each other. We actually complement each other very, very well.
Challenging each other as well.
Each other, and a healthy disposition of just growing an idea to sort of taking a kernel that one person has and then just running with it. And I think kind of this is how Midfleet came to be. It was taking that kernel and just making something out of it together. Because if you would be alone, if I would be alone, we wouldn't be getting to
No, absolutely not. And I think the power just of the journey we have had together, and it's been a long time, man, since high school, and then looking at each other's journey separately, and then coming back and meeting up again and seeing like, hey, man, oh, you've been doing this stuff. You've been CEO and you have been building companies. And it's like, oh, you've been an engineer. You've done this. It's so weird because it fits so well that it's almost creepy. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But also believing in that qadr, as we say, we are like my strong belief in Islam and God and the destiny that we meet again and we have a journey in front of us where we don't know actually where we're going, but we know we have a trust where we are building together. We are sacrificing time, money, and effort. And we are really like when we started, it was a question mark.
It was a big question mark. But like with all good ideas, it has to be a little bit of a resistance to it almost, but we're not pessimists by nature, but we have to inject that little bit of pessimism to question validity of something. Yeah, but we knew we had to build something.
Yeah, so I remember when after the journey in Penang in November 2025, and I was almost like 2024, I left corporate BS. And I was like, I was still in the monk mode in a way, like, again, like, what should I do? And then after that journey, came back to Sweden. And I was like, Ahmed, you have to look at this, man.
Yeah.
You just look at this. And he was like, what's up? What's up? And he was looking at it. And then, we came together. It was like, this is it, man. This is it. This is it.
It was an agent talking to another agent. And for me, at that time, I was like also in the same position as everybody else in tech at that point where we were kind of running around with our
Questioning.
With our heads unscrewed like chickens without heads and just asking is like, what can you actually do with this? What's possible?
Yeah.
What does the technology allow to do? Is it overpromising? And this is the question that where Midfleet was born from, right?
Yeah.
We can do a lot of stuff with agents. You can ask it anything, and essentially you can tell it to go and build a product. You can tell it to sell that product, or you can tell it to call your mom and say you're late, whatever. All of these things kind of like, okay, so we saw the headlines getting up there. Everybody was talking about AI. Okay, what are they talking about? It's like, oh, the AI is taking over. It's singularity, AGI. And we were sitting with agents and we saw the reality was actually quite different when they started asking it. Even simple stuff, it started drifting, it's doing something else. And it became increasingly very apparent we wanted to do when agents talk to each other, we wanted to control that path as infrastructure, as a runtime. We saw that problem of them drifting and doing something else or guaranteeing an outcome or working towards a goal together is something that you need to control, right? And we don't see that as workflows. We don't see that necessarily as that. We see it as a runtime, a path with roads, stop signs or red lights.
Yeah, and I want to also talk about a little bit about, we were talking about this for a while. Every time we met, we were like, hey, man, are we going back to tech or are we going back to unemployment or what are we going to do?
Because you were trading together for quite some time.
We were trading. We were trading. We were successful in that. And we were like, okay, listen, like, should we go back?
Yeah.
And I just felt like I can't go back. I don't know why. It was something that was dragging me or forcing me. And we had this conversation so many times at that time.
I think it was a sort of a fatigue of being promised something in an industry. And I'm not saying that we're sort of, we expected something from somebody else, but it was a fatigue of the sort of regurgitation of the same type of thinking in this industry, right?
Yeah.
The hype and the whole, massive amount of money investment, VCs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was sort of, we got tired a little bit of it, but we needed to make something that was ours, that we could trust, that we were genuinely used as people, right?
Yeah, and I come from the philosophy where, in my head, I'm imagining something like you say something. So this was my experience. I was sitting at home and I had a microphone and I had Whisper Flow installed on my MacBook. And I was like, I'm having a conversation in the microphone and I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing the output of that conversation.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me like, okay, this is for real. This is happening today, right now, at this moment. And from that, I just felt if that's possible for me to be able to construct and give an intent
Yeah.
of something that I want to happen or create.
Yeah.
And it comes also from the Islamic philosophy where God says, kun fayakun, be and it becomes. And you can now see that in AI and technology, that as a human being, you can say something and it's building and creating this.
Yeah.
It was so powerful for me that I just felt like I have to go all into this new technology.
Right.
And actually see if this is real.
Right.
And that's, I think, where naturally I asked you, like, hey, is this real? Or, is this happening?
Just the fact that as a non-engineer, now I could actually sit with Raju, who is like a fully fledged full stack engineer, and code and build and do the things not as you.
I remember that. I remember that when I asked you, I was like, hey, you need to go into GitHub and you need to start talking with the agents. And you were like a little bit hesitant. And you were like, what do you mean? I'm a CEO. I work with different stuff, But I was like, hey, there's no CEO anymore, man. It's just everyone is the same now. Everyone has the power. It's just about how much experience and knowledge you have in your mind that you can.
It quickly became to me is that, yes, I was using AI and agents and I was working as a product manager for another company, but not fully understanding the sort of capacity of this tech because it was all unknown for all of us. Yeah. I think it become now more apparent that it's an extension of my mind and brain. I have to be a better CEO while doing it, right?
Absolutely.
What is a CEO if it's not somebody's holding the vision to an account?
Yeah.
Right? Making sure that whatever organization that we're doing is profitable. And I could see that type of work coming in where I can have one or two people with me who are intelligent in the way that they make judgment rather than work. They're actually good at judgment. And just give them those tools, and those tools become an extension of their fingers and minds and everything else. And with Midfleet, we can look at sort of guaranteeing an outcome or working towards an outcome has become more of a reality.
Yeah, and I think going forward, the vision and the long-term goal, as for Midfleet, is I'm thinking that you can be anybody. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be a big enterprise organization, or you can just be a one single founder, or maybe you're two, just like us.
Yeah.
And you can go into Midfleet and you can say, hey, this is the intent, this is the outcome I want. And you can actually see that progress and you can really see that coming to reality. And that's what I want to build for. I want to build for a generation where you have an idea, instead of having this seat or this position that I came from, maybe you also came from, where You have to listen to people, telling you stuff that maybe you don't want to do, but you have to do it. And just coming out from that environment and saying, hey, I'm capable, I have the intelligence and the ideas that I want something real to come out of that. So a little bit, I want to empower people. I want to empower, to be able to create something. And that's my intent for Midfleet, at least personally.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like the ultimate vision of Midfleet is you're in the driver's seat, right? You can build whatever you want, whether it's engineering, sales, marketing, or calling your mom, as we said. But you put the rules of the engagement. You make sure that the agents actually deliver what they're supposed to do, right? So yeah, with that, we have a couple of ways that you can work with Midfleet. It's you can sign up for free, try it out, or get in touch with us, and our team will help you get on board with all the work that you need to be done with agents.
Yeah. And thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And I'm really looking forward to working with Ahmed and see what this is going. And also with you guys,
Yep.
contact us and we're here to support you, on the onboarding and the journey as well to Midfleet. So just feel free to go in and contact us. And there is a chat box so you can just, communicate with us. So yeah.